Yeah, I've had the eating on a little bit longer tonight. There we go. Good evening, friends. Good evening and welcome this fine Thursday evening to Little Port Christian Spiritualists, where you might notice I've got a little bit more work on than I have done in recent weeks. Hello, everyone online. It's working. You're back. So we are broadcasting live over Facebook and YouTube and occasionally Twitch. You get some pretty weird comments when you do mediumship on Twitch, but never mind. But we are broadcasting live, so please remember that you will not be on camera. Don't panic, but your message will be. So if you want to remember it and look back on it, you've got a record. And to everyone all over the place who's joining us tonight, welcome back. It's good to have you back. So there we are. The technology's working. And we are back where we belong, out in the world, telling the truth of spirit to all that will listen and a few that won't as well. So, friends, tonight is a bit of a different one. As you can tell, my equipment is not the only equipment out on display. Our medium has his equipment out on display as well, because tonight we have spirit art, which is exciting. We don't have it very often. I think it's probably about 10 years since we had somebody up here doing it last time. So it's a wonderful opportunity also to welcome someone who has been in the doors before, but not this side of the table. He found us eventually tonight after a little bit of wandering amidst the greenery, but he got here in the end. So please welcome our medium for tonight, the lovely Paul Lashbrook. And so there we are. Yes, we're back online. Yes, we're doing something a little bit different, but everything else is pretty much the same. There will be a little philosophy. There will be a lot of healing. There'll be a lot of proof of survival. And of course, the usual system of hands-on healing within the service. But first, as per usual, let's open this evening by starting off in gentle prayer. As we say, Great Spirit, divine, universal source of all, we thank you. We thank you for the opportunity, the freedom, and the liberty to join together in this place, to witness the proof and truth that life is indeed eternal. As we gather, we ask those that we love, those that have gone before us, feel the ability, the compassion, and the kindness to move forward, to draw through the veil, to gather round and show us that truth, that not only life, but love is indeed for all time. And as we place this service in your care and keeping, I make the statement as ever, that everything we do is in love, truth, and in light. Amen. Thank you, friends. Well, some important notices. First and foremost, if you've never been here before, there are some escape routes, just in case you need them. They are through that front door there, through those wings there, and through the curtains as well. I was never cabin crew, but my other half was. But if you do need to evacuate the building, those are the exits, and we either meet at the front of the building or we meet at the back, and there is a designated person to go either side. We haven't had to yet, is all I'll say, but there's always the risk, so we have to be careful. Of course, the other thing to mention is that we are coming to the end of the month. So there's not much on the to-do list. However, it does mean that the new month is around the corner and there'll be loads to do. Of course, March brings us 1 month closer to the return of the White Feather Shamanic Healing Drum Group, which will be back in April. There will be a workshop held in that little room on there for spiritual development and growth. That will be on the second Sunday of the month. It's £15 and it's a communal lunch, and it's from 10:30 till 3:30. I actually got the times right. We're doing well. And we explore all aspects of this way of life. And sometimes we have some really, really strange experiences. And sometimes it gets deep and meaningful and emotional. And sometimes it's all of the above. But we do always endeavor to enjoy ourselves. Plus the food's nice. It really is. So there is that. And to let you know that the medium for next week is a local lass, a lovely lady. We had a at the end of last year, the lovely Joe Bruno will be back with us next week as our visiting medium. So looking forward to that. As for today, we are cutting this bit a little bit short. You might notice that my right-hand woman, my deacon, Eunice, isn't here tonight. She's looking after a poorly dog. So we're not going to have the reading, just to give a little bit more time over so that we can have more psychic art. It was all pre-planned, and it wasn't that I forgot to bring a backup reading at all, I promise. But of course, I can make up for it with a little bit of philosophy, because part of this way of life, the mediumship, is the well-known bit. What's not so well-known is the philosophy of what it is that we do. It's the one bit that seems to be either brushed aside or forgotten or not really cared about. Now, there are some ways of working where you don't need it. There are ways of working where it's not required. There are groups that just have meetings of philosophy, and there are groups that just have meetings of mediumship, and then there are some that like to mix it up and do a bit of both. But one of the things that seems to have been lost in spiritualism as a way of life is the emphasis on the philosophy in terms of where you get yours from. And that's what's been lost. Because we have spent, as a human beings and as a species, centuries being told what to believe. Being told that you must think that and you must think the other, and that you must do this and you must do that. And there are ways of life that says, if you want to get to heaven, you've got to be really, really good and do X, Y, and Z, and then you might get to heaven, so long as you do a few other things that we won't mention until you're fully into it. With spiritualism, with the truth of spirit, that's not the case. There are a couple of simple rules, and those simple rules are so easy to follow, it makes you wonder how the world can be like it is today. Simple rule number 1, be kind. It's not difficult. It's difficult sometimes when people are riling you up, but the alternative is far, far worse. When the continual cycle of frustration and aggression keeps rattling round, going on and on and on, it never ends. But it can end, because all you've got to do is break the cycle and say, you know what, enough is enough. Tell me why you think that. Tell me why you feel that. Educate me. And if everyone, no matter what position they're in, from prince to pauper to minister to medium to everybody, could just say, why do you think that? And learn from that conversation, then kindness would begin to grow and become manifest and manifold all throughout the world, because it's not that different and it's not that difficult. Second rule, after following rule number 1, is follow your heart. Follow your own conscience. You are a creature of the universe. We are all creatures of the universe, which means we've got a little spark of magic, a little spark of universal power within each and every one of us. And if we use compassion and kindness as the navigator, the star at which to sail across the ocean on, then your own conscience will tell you what to do. But we live in a world, sadly, where a lot of philosophy has been rejected because it hasn't been philosophy. It's been dogma, it's been doctrine, it's been dictation. And I can understand why people would push that aside. Because the person who knows what's best for you, the person who knows your heart, the person who knows the way forward for you, is you. And no degrees, no methodology, no authority, no position can ever make someone know what you need better than you. I've got a phrase that I stole from a science fiction show that I'm a great believer in. to be honest, I steal a lot of my material from science fiction shows. I'm glad I don't have to pay royalties. But it's simply this. Religion and politics should work in service of the people, not the other way round. To that end, know your heart, know your desire, know what you want. Know that the only way to get it is through that navigational star of compassion, and things will start to take care of themselves. Because, my friends, it's not that difficult, and spiritual philosophy is not that complicated. It's simply a case of looking out for one another, being kind. And as a great British author once wrote many centuries ago, to thine own self be true, and thou canst never be untrue to any other person. In other words, follow your hearts because you know them best. So I'll thank you all for listening, and God bless you all. And speaking of looking out for oneself and looking after oneself and bringing kindness and compassion. There we go. The pause. You're all right, darling, you're fine. We know what the traffic's like out there. Speaking of being kind and compassionate and looking after one's own needs, now is the time in our service when we're going to have some healing. So to take us through the mechanics of that and to lead us in it, please welcome our healing leader, Tony. And I can see the little green glow on his chest, so I know he's all wired up and ready.
I'm fully turned on. In a few moments, when I ask you, please, will you send your healing thoughts to the following: Chris O'Neill, Eileen Bone, Debbie, Caroline, Sue, David, Yvonne, and Jen. Now, the real important bit. If you would like some hands-on, close proximity healing, please just raise a hand, and one or more of our healers will come to you and do the said thing. Yeah. Off we go. 3 up, 3 down. It's brilliant. Thank you. As ever, just a few moments of my time. I'll come there. Don't worry. One there. I'll go there. Yeah. I'll come there.
Is there any more that you need? So I can go as soon as...
No, that's fine. I've just got one more. That'll be me. So you're all right.
Okay, I'll stand.
In a few moments, I'll ask you to do the said thing. So please, Great Spirit, would you please send your healing powers down through our healers to those who've requested it, but at the very same time, please protect those said healers from anything they don't want to receive. Healers, you have about 3 minutes to do your work.
Great Spirit, Father, Mother God, divine source of the universe and great Creator. Here we bring unto you all those listed in all the healing books throughout the land. Be they sick in mind, body, spirit, or soul, that it may please thee to heal them, those we know, those we do not know, those that have no one to ask for them. We ask for them now. Those we know, those we do not know, may please thee to heal them, those we know, those we do not know, those that have no one to ask for them. We ask for them now. We ask for them now.
Thank you, healers. If you can just bring yourselves back, say the thank yous to where you've got to say them. And as I say every week, thanks to those of you who asked for more than one reason.
Thank you to everyone who sent out their healing thoughts, and thank you to everyone who took part and indeed asked. I have been asked to let everyone know a small piece of information, not small in the stream of things, really. One of our members, Debbie, you will notice is not with us tonight. She's a bit poorly and has been taken into hospital. Now, unfortunately, she hasn't got her phone with her. So while she's in hospital, she's not going to have her phone with her. And she's taking the opportunity to have a break from Googling and surfing and searching. So if you try and message Debbie and she doesn't answer, please do not panic. She's being looked after. She's being given medical help and support, but she won't be able to answer any of your messages because she ain't got a phone with her. And you know what it's like in this day and age. Everyone panics as soon as you... I'm not looking at you, Mother, I promise. You know, as soon as your phone kind of like gets turned off or the battery dies or you spend 5 minutes away from it, everyone starts panicking. But Debbie's all right in the terms that she's being looked after. She's getting medical support, but she will not be able to answer any of your messages. So please, please, please do not panic. But that's why she was in the healing list. And so please continue to send your healing thoughts out to her, because I'm under the impression it's going to be probably about 3 or 4 weeks, if not more, while she's in hospital. So thank you all for listening. And so now is the time where I'm about to hand over the rest of the evening to the wonderful Paul, who's got all of his equipment ready. He's got his pens and his pencils. He's got his board up. And I'm even going to move the camera.
That's okay.
So should Paul come to you, please answer in a clear voice. Yes, no, don't, no. Don't feed the medium. He really will bite your hand off. But most importantly, send your love and support to our medium artist for the evening,
Thank
Paul
you.
Lashbrook.
I'll just tell you a little bit about me, really. I've worked in the West Country mostly, but I've also worked online and in America, all kinds of places, really. So, but I also, I am an artist in real life, and so I learned to draw from a very young age in that, but Spirit started using my drawing, and they're very quick. So they're not like photographs, they're just images of like that's coming through. So there's a bit of mediumship comes with it. So I'm taking my glasses off now, so I won't be able to see you. So that's one thing. So that's it really, and just yes or no. I tend to think that, or tend to feel things that are wrong with you, or things that are pressures around you. So if I come to you and say, is this about you? You know, just say yes or no, but don't want anything else. So that's it really. And see where we go. I do want to come to you first of all. I've got a lady come to me, and I've got a lot of arthritis in this hand, but I also feel that you've got the same thing in your hand on this one. Do you understand that? I feel you look quite alive and quite well and everything else, but the last few weeks there's been a kind of deep tiredness, you know, and it's not just it's not illness or anything, but it's just like you know, the winter's been just too long and too many things going on over Christmas and the last few months, you know, just one thing after another. I got a feeling that this ear here, you get a little bit of ringing in it. And it's almost like every time spirit comes to you, that ringing comes into your ear. Do you understand that? I do feel with you that you kind of like talking. There's a lot of talking around you, and that you give a lot of advice and things like that. I've got your grandmother with me, and she's the one that's coming from your mother's side. You know, she's again. I don't know whether she was Irish because she said you know, and that kind of to me is an Irish link to me. But do you understand that? Not Irish, but I just feel that she's very talkative. So it's that kind of thing. She's checking, like, do you know? So it's almost like she always wants to make sure people are okay. And so with you, I also want to check with you from her that you're okay, you know? So it's like when I say, are you okay? Do you know? And those kind of things, it's really that just reiterating, because I think you show a different face to the world than you're actually feeling, you know? There's a lot of things gone on, and I do feel that it's something to do with the younger people on your father's side of the family. There's something going on there, and that's been like a bother to you. Do you understand? And so it's in a way the two sides are linking with what's going on, in not a great way, but with the people that on this side of the family who are very nurturing and kind of looking after. So it's a lovely kind of thing where this side's looking after this side. And that's where you're caught in the middle. Do you understand? So that's really where that's coming from. The next few months, it's almost like I can't see further than that, you know. So you can't really see your way out of it. It's just that we've got to take time. And I feel with coming June, that's kind of going to be a bit better for you. There's something coming on in June, which I think you're looking forward to. And it's almost like once that comes, hopefully everything will be in place before that. Do you understand? Some kind of anniversary or something that's coming there. But I feel a gathering there. So around that time in June. You have a sadness about people that have gone. There's like you miss them, and it's almost like you can't connect to them in that way. You can't sort of look at them and think, well, I know you're around me, so I'm comforted by that. It's almost like they've gone and that loss is too much, and that loss will always be with you. You're not very good at kind of bringing them to you. It's almost like you miss them too much to understand. Do you understand that? So it's that kind of feeling that I'm thinking about with you. And that's a shame, really, because like, it's part of our mediumship and part of like knowing about our lives and the lives that of people that have been with us through them. It's that they follow us on our paths and they walk with us, you know. And so, in a sense, we're all walking each other home. And so they've walked their way home, and they're kind of waiting for you. There's three that's there that stands with you, and three very strong people, two women and one man that I'm seeing with you, and they're kind of like standing there, almost like they want to be around you because you've missed them so much, and because you're having this conversation with them, you hold them here. Do you understand that? And sometimes you actually feel them and see them. There's I don't know whether you've got a green curtain in your living room or there's a green color there, but that green brings them. And I feel like there's a thing where I almost see somebody around green. Do you understand that? If it's not that, I know what green means to me, so I say that. So it's not a green curtain. Green is all about heart, you know, and so they're kind of drawn to you in a kind of emotional way, you know, like a physical thing. So when you feel the sadness, it isn't in your mind or tears, it's here in your heart, you know. So, and sometimes that might manifest itself with pain or some kind of like empty feeling. You understand that? So that's where the loss is coming through the color green, and that green is resonating in your heart chakra. So that's that. But I do feel like in your living room, there's a corner, like if there's a window here, there's a corner here, and there's something there which catches your eye, and you feel them there. I don't know whether you see spirit on that side. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you understand that? Because as I'm looking at your window, there it is, there. And there's a thing where you constantly catch your eye there. That's how it makes me feel. It's a lovely feeling, you know, and it's not a sad feeling. They're not there to kind of upset you or anything. They're there just for reassurance. And, you know, they're your people. They're your people. So you can talk to them. You can ask them whatever you want. And sometimes they may not give you a right answer straight away, but they might do it through dream or through an intonation and things like that. Your grandmother, in a funny way, this one that's communicating with me, comes to you in the kitchen. And there's a feeling that there's a table, and on this side of the table, it's almost like I feel her presence. I don't know whether you kind of like look that way and there's a conversation going on, but I do feel there's a conversation going on with this lady as well. But that's in the kitchen area, not in the living room by the window. So do you understand that? You do. Okay, so that's a lovely thing. So she comes to you in a way just like the others, you know, to give that reassurance because you're calling out, you know, that sadness is what's calling out to her. And so that's why she comes and they come. Before I'm leaving, I'm just giving you some blancmange, which is a funny thing because I don't think you can get it now, but but just showing me that. And it's pink, and pink is a lovely color. Pink is about unconditional love, you know, so it's a bit of sweetness and unconditional love that they want to give you. But you understand, you give that to the children on this side, the ones that are kind of causing upset. It's almost like I want to give them that sweetness, but that unconditional love. And whatever they're going through, I just feel that if I can't do anything, I like I can do that, you know. And somehow, with these help of these people, that will all kind of quiet down. Do you understand? So look forward to June. I think June is a nice time. Have a think about that. Just get through the next few months because they're almost like a continuation of this last few months since Christmas, really. And I know it's been a bit difficult, but it's almost like you're nearly towards the end of that now. Okay? But know that these people are there to support you. Okay? God bless you. Chloe. Does anybody know a Chloe? I think I'm with you, lady. Yeah. Do you know the name Chloe? Can be here, can be there. Chloe. Chloe's Closet. I looked after this girl and we used to watch Chloe's Closet, and it was like we sing songs, me and this little girl I used to look after, and it was, I'm just saying because I'm just trying to work out why they're here. But you can understand the Chloe. Have you got a pain here on this side? I'm definitely with you because I feel like that pain's there. It's almost like a kidney pain, but it's not kidney, but it's an ache there. Do you understand that? But it's constantly there. It's not like coming and going. It's like there quite a lot. I'm just going to go with what I'm thinking. I don't know whether you work with people that are disabled or something like that, but I feel there's an affinity that you have with disability in children, whether you think of them or see them or anything like that. But I just feel that there's a connection there with a young girl. I don't know whether she's in spirit or whether she's here, but there's a feeling of a disability around you, of a child. You don't know that. But I'm just going to leave it for a second. I'm going to do some drawing and just see whether it comes through the drawing. But I just feel like that. But you definitely got that pain there. There's a dryness in your mouth as well, and that is a condition, you know. And I think you take tablets, and that causes a dryness rather than you've got a reflux or something like that. Yeah. So it's that. Okay, that makes sense to me. Definitely two things there. So I'm just going to see where it goes. Okay, but you don't understand. Okay. Okay. Well, just I'll hold on to that thought.
so quiet and focused on what's going
Got quite a thoughtful young man with me that you can see by his mouth that it's kind of thoughtful. That's how he's drawing it. When you watch me draw, just watch how strong the pencil is and things like that, and how the face evolves, because it's part of the messaging of it when it happens. He's become an older man now. So there's two sides that I want to talk about. That when he was younger and as he got older. When he was young, he was quite an interesting person. He was quite interested in life and things like that. But as he got older, there's a thing where he's gone into himself, and there's a kind of a tiredness with this man as well. I think I'm still with you with him. Do you understand him at all? Does anybody else recognize this person? No? I just want to stay with you, okay? The thing is with him, he's kind of like, he's really looking at you, like looking into you, looking through you almost, So I feel that there's an intimate connection here, not intimate as in, partners or anything like that, but there's a kind of like a connection that I have with you. And with the child I was talking about before, there was a playfulness and that there. So where I was saying about, Chloe's Closet, it was a program that we used to watch as, on TV, and then we would sing something, and that singing would then develop into a conversation and stuff like that. So I could draw things out of her through what she was like saying, or, through a game or things like that. So this man here is very similar to that. So what I want to come to you with is the feeling that you communicate with people in a different way that other people would. It's almost like people come and talk to you about things, and then they would start telling you kind of quite difficult things, share difficult things. And there's almost like a healing aspect to this, where you would kind of listen to people and they would tell you everything. Do you understand that? No? You work as Samaritans. There you go. So that's what I'm saying. You would have to draw things out of people. So where I was saying about the young girl, you would have to draw that out of her. They might come to you with something, talk to you about something innocuous, but on the back of that, you could then wheedle something out of her, and then you get to the crux of the problem. It's the same with this person. It's the tiredness to him. There's all that kind of life that he had is gone, and now he's kind of like fearful almost, and that's what you would get from him. You would draw that out of him. So that's why they're coming around you. It's because it's what you do. And in a sense, what I was doing is I was working with mental health. It's a similar kind of thing that you do. Do you understand that? And so there is a link that I've got to you, and he's got that to you, and this young girl's got that to you. So what Spirit are doing, they're kind of coming around you in the sense to talk about the jobs that you've done and the things that you do, and how you help people. And sometimes, you say that you work on things. I mean, when you work online or when you work, abstractly, through telephones or communicating like that, quite often you don't get an image of the person. You don't get a feeling for the person. You get to know what they want to talk about. You get to see that. You don't see what happens to them afterwards unless they come back and talk to you. But the chances of that is very limited. They wouldn't do that. So in a sense, what Spirit are doing is kind of filling in a gap for you, I've worked myself on Gay Switchboard years and years ago when it was like all about AIDS and things like that. So we had to sort of deal with very difficult things. And in a sense, you never knew what the story was after the phone went down and all of that. So in a sense, I can get a feeling of that's what's happening here. I just want to double check something. Is this leg here, is there an itchiness to it? Yeah? Because I just want to make sure I'm definitely still with you. This is a feeling now, which I want to talk about him, and I want to talk about the young girl. There are times in your working life where you've really haven't been able to forget them. Do you know, something's happened and you wondered what's happened to them. You haven't been able to forget that thing. You know, it's almost like you felt like you would need to sort of follow that through and see it to the end, you know, but you can't do that. So Spirit are kind of talking about a really beautiful way of, you know, healing is that we just give it up, you know, we give it out, we give it up to Spirit and ask them to take it, you know. So in a sense where you do what you do, and that's a very strong healing thing, healing, you know, mental health and emotional things and all of those. It's really just to kind of show Spirit wants to tell you that, you know, there isn't any ending. You haven't got the knowledge of that. But what Spirit is saying is the fact that, you know, the feeling that I'm getting is that whatever you do absolutely, you know, and that you put it up into Spirit and ask them to sort it out, whatever it is. And you hope and pray that whatever you've done has helped in some way, you know. And so I've got these lovely people with me, him included, to say that, you know. There's a feeling when you look at this, the eyes of this, you can see troubled person, you know. But when I first started drawing him, he looked innocent and young. Now he's like older and life's touched him, and he's like had a lot gone on, you know. And so in a sense where I want to bring him over there, I'm going to call him Reg. Okay, I'm going to give him a name just because that's what I want to do, just so that you can focus on him, you know. And what, in a sense, how you can use this drawing is he can be your everyman, you know? So you can say, oh, Reg, I hope this person's all right. I hope that person's all right. So it's a focus for your kind of next stage, you know, what's happened to them. You can ask Spirit to work through Reg to sort of do that. And Chloe as well, I'm going to say this is her name. And quite often when they talk to you, they won't give you a name or they'll give you a fake name. You know, so just use those two names as a way of connecting to a younger person, but also him, you know, as a way of giving it up. I want to talk to you about where you are now, not them, but where you are. And it's almost like at the moment you're stuck where you don't want to be. It's almost like I feel I can't move on just yet, you know, and it's, people wouldn't know that about you because you're very confident and you're very, you know, very, somebody I would trust, somebody I would kind of think, well, she always knows what she's doing. Do you know what I mean? But at the moment you don't, you know, and it's almost like I want to move on and I can't move on. And it's almost like I feel like there's something I need to do, but I don't quite know what I want to do. And this is again in a spiritual way as well as your life, you know. I think there's been a change around you and it's unnerved you a bit. And I feel that confidence that you had isn't there, you know. But I just feel that whatever you want to do, if you really want to do it, it'll find a way, you know. And I'm giving an apple to you. This is what they're giving me, is an apple. And sometimes we bite into an apple and it's sour. Sometimes we bite into an apple and it's sweet. But whatever we do, we can't ever know what's going to happen. So in a sense, you've just got to bite into that apple and then go with it, whatever it is. It may be a bit bitter to start with, but it may be, you know, sweeter later. But somewhere along your journey, you're going to have to make that jump, you know. You've lost quite a few people in your life, and there's a lot of people that were on your mother's side of the family that are no longer there. Do you understand that? Mostly on that side that I'm linked to. I've got a buzzing in my ear, a buzzing, and this is called a monad. Do you know what a monad is? It's a very spiritual buzzing that happens to some people. And I don't know whether you get it, but every now and then you'll get a sound in your ear, and that will get louder. But it's when you're not thinking about anything, and it's spirit are trying to draw your attention to it. And only certain people have it. And it's a way that they link with people that are doing very difficult things to give you the knowing that you're not alone. And it's like a buzzing, not a tinnitus buzzing, but it's a little bit like that. Do you understand that? Can you look out for it then? Sorry? Yeah, it's called a monad. Look it up. It'll give you some interesting thing. And some people find it's a Christian thing, like Christ is the monad, but it goes back further than that. So there is a thing where the monad is a way of spirit sort of guiding you, and it's a kind of a hearing thing. It's a very strange thing, but I feel that you're very attached to it because of the way you are, But I do feel that have the confidence to take that bite of that apple and move forward, and all those things. This pain that you've got that I felt first is gone now. I don't know why, but it's left me. It's left you. Yeah, it's because now we've been talking, and now we've been talking in a spiritual way. It's almost like that's gone. It's almost like a way of them saying, that they're around you and they know what's going on for you, and they can feel those things. So as you heal other people, and we've been talking about that healing aspect, they've done that to you, and so just know that. Do you know somebody called Catherine on your father's side? Catherine on your father's side. I may have left you then. Okay, then. But everything was fine up to that point. Okay, I'll give you this picture.
Would you be kind?
Sorry?
Would you be kind enough to wave it in front of the camera on your way past?
Where's the camera? Oh, there.
Just there. Because the light isn't. There we go. That's lovely.
Is that all right?
Bang on.
There you are.
Lighting is again.
You what?
The lighting didn't like it
Oh,
over there, but perfect view there.
That's okay. That's fine. Can I come to that girl there? Can I come to you? I'm not sure why I'm coming to you, so I just feel like coming to you. There's two sides to you. There's two sides to everybody. There's two sides to you. And this side here, it gets quite cold. Do you understand that? Are you feeling a cold energy now? A coldness around just... This is because I feel like I've got with me on your mother's side of the family, and I think you're very attached to your mother's side of the family, But this, I don't know whether it's somebody that you knew very well or as a baby, but there's somebody that links to you, and they've always linked to you. Do you understand that? Your hands here, I can't see you, but this hand, this finger, and this finger, there's a little bit of pain in them. Do you understand that? For you, not for them, for you. Yeah, okay. Which is quite unusual, really, because I wouldn't have you look quite young to me, so I can't imagine that it's anything other than that. But there's something, I don't know whether it's an accident that's happened in the past or something like that, but it certainly feels around my knuckles, it's a pain there. It's a lovely feeling from this woman, and it's almost like she would have been around you as a baby. And I really want to take you back to, I know you can't remember about being a baby, but I want to take you back to being a baby, and to that you were really expected. It's almost like they wanted you to come here. This lady wanted you to come here. It's almost like they were really excited about you being born. Have they talked about that to you in your family? Can you just say I've said that? So it's a way for you to go back and talk to them about it. But it's almost like a friend of mine in Italy, they had a thing when the baby was like, they'd call them welcome. Whatever that is in Italian, I can't remember, but it's called a welcome name. So they would give you a welcome name. It's almost like they wanted something wonderful to happen in the family, and your birth is like the wonderful thing that happens. So this lady's talking about that. But it's something that you can go back and talk to them your family about. There's been a bit of difficulty in your life the last couple of years, really. It's almost like I feel that physically there's something going on for you that you kind of worry about. Do you understand? And it's almost like you don't talk to people about it. It's something that you actually feel. I'm not going to open it up, but you understand that? And it's with you. This lady's getting a bit upset, so I'm moving away from her. But with you, that she makes me feel that you share things with her. I don't know whether you talk to her or whether you talk to Spirit, or whether she's just close to you, that she understands her. But it's almost like she feels this kind of sadness with you that you hold inside, you know, and that she doesn't understand why you just don't let it go. It's almost like if you let it go, it would be all right. You know, it would just be all right. But you hold on to it. You hold on to it, and I think other people are kind of instilling it in you. The other people keep you down in a way, but I don't want you to be down. I want you to be up. You know. You're a very clever girl in some senses. You're very self-educating, you know, and so you may not listen to what other people tell you because it's not the way you are, but you self-educate and you kind of look for things and you read quite a lot of the things that you're interested in, you know. And that's a good thing. That's what this lady's all about. She's saying that's a good thing because you know what you want, and eventually you'll grow up and to an adult, and then you'll be able to do the things you want to do rather than waiting for that. And waiting isn't forever. It's like till it happens, till it happens. You're very you worry about other people more than you do about yourself, in a sense, and you're constantly, I don't know whether you've got reflux as well as they talked about it, but this is when you've got wind in your ear. Do you suffer with that? If you eat something just a bit windy, I just felt something there, so I'm just going to hold on to that for a minute, right, because I'll come back to that. I've got a shaking in my legs a bit. So as I'm talking to you, you're very nervous about what I'm going to say or something like that. Do you understand? But it's nothing to worry about because it's the way Spirit work. But I do feel that you put a lot of pressure on yourself, and you're thinking of other people more than yourself, and that's got to stop in a way. And I feel like I want to then now build myself up, Yeah. Got a lovely colour for you of orange and yellow. Now, orange and yellow exist here in our bodies. It's a chakra that resonates to orange and yellow. And one thing about that is it's all about learning and self-discovery, but also it's about your psychic ability. And there is a psychic ability with you, And the thing about psychic ability, it's the positive side, is that we do have a knowing, and quite often we're right about that knowing. We think about somebody and we're quite right about it. Do you understand? But the bad side of it is that if we overdo it, we get poorly here. And this is why I was saying about the reflux and that. Sometimes you feel too heavy here. That might be because you're concentrating on that. So what I want to do with the orange is the chakra above that sacral chakra. And that orange is all about learning and self-discovery. So in a sense where you're kind of using your psychic ability to analyze others and to feel what they're going through and to sort of, have a bit of an understanding about them. I want you to turn that in and do that for yourself, and have that understanding of yourself and then move on. It's a way of learning and learning and learning and developing. And then through that, we change ourselves, Out of everybody that I feel around you, you're quite alone. There's a barrier that you put up, which isn't a bad thing. It's way a lot of us do, and especially creative people, they put barriers up because being creative is something which is our own journey, and it's not what other people can say and do. Sometimes criticism is too hard for you. You don't really like it. And, you're too young to take criticism. People should be building you up rather than criticizing. So, in a sense, it's good to have that barrier. And in some senses, I would trust that for now, So other people say break down barriers. For now, I think that's all right, because you're going to protect yourself by yourself learning and developing all your psychic ability for yourself. I think that's an important thing. Later on, maybe in some time, it might be worth then joining a circle and trying to raise your energy up to a spirit level, to work from a higher level. Because at the moment, it's important that you use your psychic ability and your learning for yourself. And then when you've got the confidence, then go to another stage. All right? The lady that I've got here would have been very similar to you in the sense for that, because she had this almost a kind of forethought of you coming. So in a sense, she's linked with you from the spirit, from when you were in the spirit world coming here. Sorry, when you were in the spirit world coming here, because we were in the spirit world before we come, and then she was there waiting for that, and waiting and knowing that you were coming, and this was the joy. Okay, so take that from this lady, take that little bit of philosophy about your life, and just know that you are welcomed here, and you're here for a purpose. And at the moment, keep that bridge going, because it's important for you to learn. There's a wonderful color around you. I'm seeing your aura, and your aura is a beautiful pearl color, which is a lovely color to have. It's a spiritual color of almost like an angelic feeling. And I do feel that you feel spirit around you. Do you understand that? Because as I'm looking at you, it's throbbing. And the more I'm talking to you, the more the spirits involved around you, and you have a knowing that they're there. Do you understand? It feels like Have you lost a dog to spirit recently? I've got a dog in between you where you're sat. I've just got a dog there. You understand that? In spirit. Just popped in. They're as connected to us as everybody else. But I think he used to sit between your legs. But and the way you're sat like that is the way you would have held his head. Do you understand? And so I can just see him there, and it's got his head, your hands around his head. So it's a thing that he's remembering and showing me. Okay, so take that. Lovely that you've got the dog with you still. Lovely feeling. Okay, God bless you. Thank you. And just take it easy. People might rush you, but don't. Keep that barrier. Make sure that you do move forward when you're ready to move forward. Okay, it's important.
It's working. I can leave it.
So drawing this woman, the first thing I was drawing was quite a miserable mouth, and I thought, in a sense, I said, "Come on, smile." So she's kind of smiling now, so it's a funny thing, really. you can. There's a side to her that's had to draw it out of her. I'm not very good at drawing hair that on a quick thing like this, but just know that she's got kind of like hair going up. Got a jumper on her, so I know that she's quite wanted to be quite warm. I think I'm with this lady here. Have you got a pain that you get here, just on your tummy area? It must be with her then, but I just feel that there's a feeling I've got, which is like here. There's a tightness here. So, do you understand a lady like this? That I mean, it's only a sketch, but her hair was up a bit. I mean, yours is like come forward. Hers is up a bit, you know. And I don't know whether she would have like kept it with a kind of light scarf, but I just feel there's that there. But I've got a jumper, and the thing is, the reason I chose you is you've got the same kind of top on, you know. So I just feel like that there's a warmth around this lady. She like to keep warm, and there's a feeling of that. And I feel like on your father's side of the family, that's where she exists, you know. I'm just gonna just hold a thought to her. It would have been an aunt, something like that, on your father's side. Your dad had a sister or something. Sorry? Okay, but I'm going there, okay, because there seems to be on your father's side of the family, they were a very industrious people, you know, they were kind of hard workers, if you will, and they were quite single-minded, you know, that if they wanted to do something, they do it. Do you understand that? And in a sense, you've got a bit of that about you. If there's something you want to do, you go ahead and do it, you know? You don't really sort of wait for everybody to come along and say, oh, you know, you don't need a gang with me. I'll do it myself if I need to. Do you understand that? Very what would you call it? Single-mindedly, in a way. This is where it comes from your father's side. And so that's where it would be. I'm just carrying on with her for a minute. One of the things I was thinking, she had quite bushy eyebrows for a woman, you know, and it was almost like she would trim them, and I had a funny feeling that, you know, when you kiss somebody's forehead and you catch and they're a little bit cut short, and it gives you a bit of a. I felt that with her, you know. I thought that she had these kind of funny eyebrows. Okay, do you understand this thing about stubbly eyebrows? Don't matter, just have a thought to it. Just have a thought to it, because I just feel, and it may be that, you know, you can't be very close to her. Do you know what I mean? She's not a kissy grandmother, then, if you will. It might be on that level, but I just felt like if I was kissing her, then I would feel like She had these funny eyebrows, stubbly eyebrows. Oh, I did say to her, to smile, because there was a frown there. It was a natural frown. So some people look miserable. Do you know what I mean? And she looked miserable. And it was like one of those things. It's like, smile. And then I remember who you are kind of thing I wanted to say to her. So do you understand that about them? They had that kind of sour look about them, but they're not, do you know what I mean? They're not happy people. That's all right. I don't know where she is. I just know she's over that side, and I'm just trying to get a flavour of what she was like. But there's a kind of dourness to her. You understand what I mean by dourness? It's like a bit, a bit of a mystery look to them. But they're all right. There's nothing wrong with them. They just have that look, But then they're hardworking, so they're like, they're focused on things. So that would have been their thing. They're not like, skipping down the country lane. They're like, we've got to get to work in a minute. So what's going on? Kind of feeling. That's how they are. And so one of the things I want to talk to you about with her is there is that, there's that side to you where you're quite single-minded, and you're again quite a single person. Do you know what I mean? You're a loner in a way. Do you understand that? And it's very difficult for you to make friends because I would say it's just your way, But when you have a friend, you've got a friend for life. Do you understand that? You give everything over to them, and that's the way you are. Do you understand that? And understand that's what they were like. They were like that. She had a little chin here, which I've drawn there. There's a little chin I wanted to draw there, but I don't know whether she smoked, but I just feel that there was like I think she was a smoker as well. To look at, her skin was a little bit like a smoker's skin. That's how I'm seeing her. I'm just tiddling with her because I want to keep her with me. Definitely, she's got a scarf on. Definitely, she's wrapped up, so definitely she feels the cold. She wouldn't have been a big woman. She would have been quite, not like me. She'd been a bit skinnier, so I know she felt the cold, so that's what I'm saying. Why is she coming for you? Because I think there's a thing with you at the moment where I'm not connected to my father's side of the family. I don't feel that connected to them. Do you understand? But they seem to be around you. And it may be that that's what you need at the moment. You need that side of the family rather than this side. I don't see your mother's side with you. I can only see your father's side, okay? And the thing about them is they just want you to know that they're around you. And I think you need that single-mindedness of people around you. Do you know? It's like life's a little bit difficult at the moment, and I think I need that strength behind me. Do you understand that? I don't know whether they live near the sea. I'm seeing the sea not very far from them. Do you understand that? And the reason why they're showing me the sea is because, when you're fed up and you think, oh, I don't know, you can take yourself down to the sea and you can get all that smell of the salt in the air and everything else. And, you think, oh, should I have an ice cream while I'm here, or a bag of chips or something? You know what I mean? You can go there and you can just take yourself out of it, and they want you to just take yourself out of it. They want you to go and just have just a bit of really good fresh air, and be the sea. But they're showing me where they lived, and they could be near the sea. Do you understand that? I don't know whether around her, people worked around the sea, but there's a connection there to the sea with them. All right. Okay, well, I don't know because I'm not from up here, so I can't really see it. All I can see is like a little bit of a harbour and the water, That's all I can see. It's not like a beach, see? It's like a harbour, and it reminds me a bit of Mevagissey, but you wouldn't know that. It's like a harbour and then the sea, and you've got a few boats around and things like that. But people kind of this. It's like a place where you can get an ice cream now, you know. But in those days, it was be a working place, and your time there or their time would have been a working place. Do you understand that? So they're linked to that. But I also feel like with that where they're showing me, I just feel like I could go there and it would be just great, you know, just to get a bit of fresh air, get a nice feeling about it. Anyway, that's why they've come. You know, you're so confident. I don't think people would think that you have problems. You know what I mean? But you do, you know, and you don't share it, but you've got them. And in a sense, like I've got them with me, these people, and I want you to talk to them. You know, I've said this tonight with somebody because it's important when they come to us that they are your people and they're here to be talked to, you know, and for you to sort of say, well, listen, this isn't going right for me. If you sort something out for me, or, you know, like, what am I supposed to do? You know, because they're your people. They look after you. They're on your path, you know. And so in a spiritual way, you know, we're not playing at this. We're showing you that they're your people. So, you know, they're there for you. You need to be like that with them. Talk to them. Do you know somebody called Janice? Going back, not her, but somebody else. A friend. I got a friend come in. I think she had cancer. She's a friend because she's coming to my back rather than my side. But I just thought her name's Janice, or something like that. I don't know. I just feel it's a link to her, and she's just taken the opportunity to pop in and say hello. All right, but just to have a thought to her. But she was she was all right, and then she passed very quickly. You know, so have a thought about that. I just can see her coming up, and she's laughing actually. I can't get away from her. She's just standing there by you here. I don't know whether you can feel her on this side. It feels like she's just standing there next to you. Just wants to be with you at the moment. She's like, I don't know whether she's from a fairground or something, but it just makes me feel she's showing me a fairground, and she's showing me a time of, like, you know, where when you go to fairgrounds, all that noise and everything, you can smell all the candy floss and everything else, right? It's just so much stuff going on that's almost like she wants to give you everything. You know, I just want to give you all the fun of the fair in a way, but she's standing there, very strong, you know, strong character. She's she's got a yellow top, and she's got like she just dresses like she's in the 70s, you know. I want to take you back to then. All right, just have a thought to her, Janice. Don't think about it now. It'll come to you maybe later on, but just know that she's here for you. But it's almost like, because I was saying, you've got these people here. She said, she's got her friends as well. Do you know what I mean? That you must have had quite strong friends. You've got friends as well. And she's saying, think of your friends, because they're here to support you as well, to push you forward. Okay? Just give me a Viscount biscuit, like a little minty biscuit. I don't know if you like those, yeah? Do you understand them? Well, just give me one of them for you. So again, it's a bit of sweetness, really, but it's a Viscount biscuit. Why would they give you it? They're giving you it. All right. God bless you. Thanks for working with me. Is that it? Well, it's gone really fast. I better give you this picture before I go. For those that didn't get a message, I hope it's been informative and interesting. And everybody watching from here, I hope you've enjoyed it too. So there you are. God bless you. Oh, all right. Thank you. Thanks ever so much. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Lashbrook. Well, I'm not going over that side. You can turn around to me. Hello. Just make sure that it's at the right angle. Yeah, that'll do. You can't see up my nostril. That's the fine. That's the main thing. Well, friends, again, one of the things that I love about this life is the bringing in of new and different and unusual things. And I know that we don't have psychic art or spirit art here very often, but it's lovely to see a demonstration of it done.
Thank you very much.
And done well. And interestingly enough, I've been talking about Gnosticism a lot this week.
All right. Oh, yeah.
So one of the other things I love, of course, is that you can pull in and actually be allowed to mention other ways of life within our way of life. I frequently debate all manner of different philosophies and religions with people, and I knew exactly what you meant when you said monad. So, you know, it's fun. That's what I love about being encouraged to learn about different things, interesting things, and other ways of thinking, because within all of them, there is a glimmer of truth. When you find that similarity, there you find the absolute singular truth, or the monas.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. I also just want to, I've got, you know, I could go on for another 3 hours with some of the things that you've mentioned tonight, but I promise, tea and coffee, 5 minutes max. You mentioned about spirits sometimes choose names, and that's something that you don't hear very often, but anyone who's been in the way of life very long will know of an instance of it. And this is the thing. One of the most famous philosophies within spiritualism, which many people who've, you know, stuck their fingers in the pie, so to speak, a little bit, may well have heard of. Silver Birch is one of the most famous spirit writers of spiritual philosophy. But actually, that wasn't his name. It never was his name. He is drawn as a Native American. He wasn't even Native American.
Can I say something?
You can.
My teacher was Eileen Ledger, and she was in the circle of Maurice Barbanel that
Yes.
brought him through. So it's quite funny you're talking about.
Well, see, this is why we'd probably end up talking all night, because in my early development, I was under the development of someone who used to sit behind his desk. Morris was in spirit by then, but his desk was handed down in a certain role, and I used to sit at the end of it on a little puff,
How funny,
which was fun. But he was actually never Native American. It was a name and an identity that it chose to make itself more available. And additionally, White Eagle and White Eagle Lodge, exactly the same. So sometimes there are beings out there that will make good use of imagery to convey what they want to say rather than who they actually were. So it's something that we don't, again, talk about very often. But I'm sure you all want to win raffle prizes and have a cup of tea, so I'll shut me gob. Thank you, Paul Lashbrook.
Thank you.
Sorry, everything's a teaching opportunity with me these days. Right, so friends, let us join together and close this evening in prayer. As we say, Great Spirit, divine, universal source of all, we thank you. We thank you for our time together, the feeling of love and compassion and kindness, and the connection from the world of spirit. As we go out into the world, let us take with us that message of warmth, connection, and upliftment, and share the truth that compassion is the way forward with all those we meet. And so, until we meet again, I ask that all those here present and the families and friends that they represent be blessed with love, upliftment, and a peaceable week. Until we meet again, in your name, amen.
Amen.
So, friends, the bucket is coming. I want to say a big thank you to everyone at home, actually, who has really, really stood by waiting patiently for us to get the technology right. All it needed was a button on my phone to switch over to 5G, believe it or not. But we got there in the end. So we're back online. And we will, of course, be back next week with the lovely Jo Bruno, lovely lady, little port gal. Not originally, but she is now. And if you've ever bought crystals and spiritual things from Ely Marketplace, you already know her, because that's where she works at the fairs. So I look forward to seeing as many people as possible to come along and support Jo. But for now, to everyone at home, can you all remember this bit? From everyone at home, from everyone here to everyone at home, 1, 2, 3.
Good night.
God bless you all, and we will see you next week. But